I dropped off the Diet Coke and stepped behind the bar, leaning against the counter with a heavy sigh. This whole mess with Gareth had me on edge, not only because of the deaths, but because of what came next. The Grand Coven was supposed to arrive any day now to restore order, as if a bunch of stuffy elders could control someone as unstable as Gareth. Their presence here made my skin crawl, especially the Sharps, Gareth's parents, who I knew would be part of their entourage. Mr. Sharp was high up in the Grand Coven. He and his wife were known as cold, calculating sorcerers who loved flaunting their power. We had history. Bad history. Sort of. Dorian told me they'd murdered my parents. Everyone else thought it was a boating accident. "Briar, you okay?" Grace asked, her brow furrowed in concern. I managed a weak smile. "Yeah, just thinking about Dorian." It wasn't a lie. I was thinking about Dorian. While I was working, he was off trying to catch a lead on Gareth. He hadn't had any luck so far, and part of me worried what would happen if Dorian found him. I knew my man could take care of himself, though. I glanced at the clock. 2 hours left in my shift. I wiped down the bar, idly chatting with Grace as I refilled drinks and took orders. The dinner crowd was starting to thin out, only a few more tables to bus before I could clock out. I was in the middle of wiping down the last dirty table when the entire building shook violently. Plates and glasses rattled. A few patrons shrieked in surprise. "What the hell was that?" Grace exclaimed. Everyone looked around in confusion before there was a sudden stampede for the door. I followed the crowd outside, my heart pounding. People flooded the parking lot, craning their necks as they stared through the trees toward the lake. I gasped. Dorian was soaring above the lake, his arms swirling as he summoned a massive surge of water. The torrent twisted and churned, crashing toward the shoreline like a tsunami. A dark figure stood on the beach, arms raised. He furiously moved his hands through the air, following precise geometric patterns, trying to combat Dorian's assault. I didn't need to see his face to know it was Gareth. The wave slammed into Gareth, sweeping him off his feet. I held my breath, waiting to see if he would surface again. The water receded slowly, frothing and churning. Gareth was gone. My hands shook as I scanned the water. Had Dorian killed him? A scream from the crowd made me whip around. Gareth had reappeared on the beach, soaked and sputtering. With a guttural cry, he slashed his arms in Dorian's direction. A blast of energy shot through the air. Dorian swerved, but wasn't fast enough. The magic clipped his shoulder, sending him spiraling down toward the lake. "No!" I shrieked.